Yeah, greetings now. Today we're going to take a good look at constipation and how it can be repaired. Because you know, when you have cancer, digestive disorders, any kind of bowel disorder, you cannot be constipated. And constipation is one of the main cause of hemorrhoids and colon cancer, and fibroids, ovarian cysts, PCOS, and all these other conditions that affect a woman's daily life. Alright? So we're going to look at this organ right here. Alright, we're going to tell you what causes constipation. A lot of the foods here do cause it. Now, this is the organ that is very significant in keeping you healthy. It's called the colon or the lower bowel. And you notice that different parts of this organ correspond to different parts of the body. So, for instance, the hepatic flexure corresponds to the liver, the gallbladder, and the heart. And this part of the colon, called ascending colon, corresponds to the mammary glands and the thyroid and all the part of the lungs. And then over here, it's called the transverse colon, and the transverse colon corresponds to the esophagus and the trachea. All right, and down here, it's called the descent or the splenic flexure, corresponds to the stomach. And then the descending colon corresponds to the kidney and the adrenals, and all along the sigmoid colon corresponds to the testicles and a woman's uterus and a man's prostate gland over here. All right? So the colon is significant in keeping the glands and the organs and the blood well. That's significant. Because once you get constipated, you're going to have a problem. Let's look at foods that cause constipation. All right? And we're going to tell you how you can rectify constipation by using certain foods in your diet to help to remove all the toxins that build up in this particular area. Before we go over there, do not let this organ here, it shapes like a U, do not let this organ called the colon or the lower bowel become like that. All right? When your colon become like this, you start to have what we call thin stool. So your colon is supposed to be fat, like this banana right here. If you have to have fat stool, not thin stool. Once the stool become thin like that, it's telling you that the walls of your colon is being clogged up, so the stool become very thin. And that become problematic long term. Let's look at the foods that cause constipation. White bread. That is one of the foods that cause constipation. Rice and macaroni and all these ronzoni and green bananas also cause constipation too. Now this rice, this food here, I call it a grain. It's rice. And lots of time if you have diarrhea and you want to get rid of the diarrhea, you can also use rice only, eat the rice that's boiled, and the diarrhea will disappear. Because once the rice gets into your digestive system, it clogs up the digestive system so much that your diarrhea disappears. So it is a constipation food. Right? Bread also causes constipation. And there's a lot of other things that cause constipation. Morphine, when you have cancer and they give you morphine, morphine also causes constipation. Iron supplements cause constipation also. And some pills that the doctors give you for depression, antidepressant drugs cause constipation, and also painkillers. All right? Another form of constipation that causes constipation is also when you have bowel disorders, or you have what we call IBS, ileitis, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, mucus colitis. They all cause constipation because of the changing of the pH that they create in the large bowel. Right? Another cause of constipation is what we call neuropathy. And lots of people have neuropathy because over here now, a lot of the times, a lot of the nerve and the muscles become damaged in this part of the colon called the ascending colon. And once there is no what we call peristalsis movement because of lacking of muscle contraction, a person gets constipation from that also. Diabetics, people who have diabetes get constipation faster if they have neuropathy because the nerve become damaged. Or you have muscle damage. Also that could cause a person to have constipation. Yeah? Sitting for too long, drivers who sit for a long period of time, also come down with constipation. And when you have hemorrhoids or piles, as we call it in Grenada, that is another sign that your bowel is not working right. Now, once you have constipation, you must fix it. Number 2, if you are sitting on the bathroom, on the toilet bowl for more than 2 minutes, you are constipated. If you go to the bathroom with a book to read for half an hour, you're constipated. If you go into the bathroom 3 to 4 days per week, that's constipation. You have to look at what you're eating to help to fix your constipation, because you're looking to get cancer in this area. And once you have cancer here, the first place the cancer leaves to go is in your liver. And then the cancer becomes very problematic to repair once it gets into this particular organ. Yeah? Next thing again, when you're sitting on the toilet bowl, you must sit like this. And when you sit like this, your sigmoid colon relaxes. And when it relaxes, you have a better movement of the fecal matter moving from the sigmoid into the rectum. So you don't have what we call polyps, or you don't have a lot of waste sitting over here. Over here, come over here. Once you have your feet on the stool and this part of the colon is relaxed, then you have the waste moving out. If you put your feet on the ground without putting your feet on a 1-foot stool, then lots of waste stays in the sigmoid colon and cause you to have polyps, number 1, cause you to have hemorrhoids, number 2, and cause you to get what we call sigmoid carcinoma, cancer in the sigmoid colon. And this cancer down here is very difficult to fix because they can't cut and join. You have to wear a bag till you die. All right? So let's look at some of the things that we can use to fix constipation. Yeah? All right, let's go to some herbs. I'm a herbalist now, so we're looking at herbs. Once you're constipated, you must find the cause of the constipation. So let's look at things you can do to fix the constipation. High fiber diet. You have to have floaters instead of sinkers. If the stool floats, it's telling you that you have a lot of fiber in your diet. If the stool sink, it's telling you it's too heavy. So you have to have floaters instead of sinkers. That's a good sign to tell you if you are constipated or not. Yeah? All right. Now, if you're constipated again, you have to implement 40 billion of your probiotics every single day. You have to take 3,000 micrograms of folic acid per day with B12 and the B complex. And you have to also exercise and move this particular part of the body in and out. This part called the transverse colon. Now, if you do have a big belly, like some men do, this come over here now. This part of your colon, called the transverse colon, is prolapsing. Once you have a prolapsing of this particular part of the colon, it drops, and once it drops, it touches the small intestines, because of the, it's about 21 feet long. Once it touches your small intestines, you can get what we call a distended stomach. We call it the big belly man, right? Because this part of the colon drops and it prolapses and touches your small intestines, and you start to have troubles going to the bathroom also. All right. Now, so we look at that. B12, folic acid, magnesium. Over here now. Magnesium oxide, 800 to 1,000 milligrams per day. Because if you have too much calcium floating around in your body, you will become constipated. All right. So you have to have magnesium to move the calcium out, so that it don't cause you to be constipated, okay? All right, let's look at some herbs now. When you're constipated, you look at your liver. Because without your liver, you can't go to the bathroom. Ain't no doctor could do that too, right? So we're looking at dandelion root. We're looking at culver root. We're looking at buckthorn bark. We're looking at ginger powder. We're looking at yellow duck root, because with all these herbs, they help the liver to produce more bile. So once the bile is produced by the liver, the bile is dumped into the intestinal tract, and you have better bowel movement. Because once you are constipated as a woman, you are setting yourself up to getting fibroids. Once you are constipated as a woman, you are setting yourself up to get breast cancer. Once you are constipated as a woman, you are also setting yourself up to get uterine cancer. And if you are a man and you have, or you're suffering from constipation, you are setting yourself up to get prostate cancer. Why? Because once you are constipated, when the doctor pushes his hand into your rectum, he feels the prostate right here. See right there? Come over here. Look at right there. See the prostate? Prostate, uterus. prostate, uterus. So once you have waste sitting in your sigmoid colon because you are not elevating your feet on a stool while you are in the bathroom, the waste stays in the sigmoid colon and cause your prostate to swell, because now all the waste is seeping into your prostate gland, and once the prostate gland cannot breathe good, you start to get prostatitis, you start to get an enlarged prostate gland, and last but not least, you start to get prostate cancer, all because of this organ here. So this organ is very significant. Do not let waste sit in this organ, because once you have waste sitting here and don't move well, you don't have what we call fast transit time, you will set yourself up of getting parasites. And if you have parasites, we go to here, look over here, we go to black walnut, we go to cloves, we go to wormwood to remove all the parasites that is on the bowels here. And once you have a parasitic infection, you are setting yourself up to get cancer in your brain, a tumor in your brain from the wrong worm. All right? So now you know now for a fact that if you want to prevent constipation, you get your folic acid, you start to take your magnesium, you start to have fast transit time with the food moving from one place to the next, and you're having good elimination, and you're having your bowels staying clean and doing your enemas and your colonics, and you will get good health. Don't forget, I'll be in New York on the 19th of June, and I'm going to be seeing patients from the 19th to the 29th. So until, give Jehovah God the glory. Blessed love.